Black and red box. Interestingly enough, you typically get a red box when it's a women's shoe. You get the black and red Jordan 1 box here. Now, opening it up, you do have separately wrapped shoes. So this is the UNC to Chicago Jordan 1 low, right? But you get those separately wrapped shoes, which is something that's happening a lot with Jordan brand lately. So you have to check for that. And then you have another sheet of paper coming up, making a layer around it. So you have to flip it, pull each individual shoe out, which I'm going to get to. But the first thing I'll do is drop this down to check the inside of my box, make sure I don't have a stamp, and I do. The stamp is on the inside, so we're going to have to remember it, and I'm dropping stuff and I feel like a goof. But we're going to have to remember this for later when we have to do our authentication to check against the dates of production on the inside of the shoe tag. So we got 2303, and I think that's a 1001. So 03, 10, 23. That's what it looks like, 03, 10, 23. See if you can remember that for me. If not, I'll try to make sure I put it in the video. No one has to remember anything. So let's get the paper back in, drop that down, get back to the label. Remember, we got a lot of different cues to hit on for this shoe. So I'm going to move this over and go back to the box. Women's Air Jordan WMNS, Air Jordan 1 Retro Low OG. I'm looking at my angle to see if I can see my chip underneath, and I can feel my chip underneath. I'm not going to pull my tag back. These came from Nike, so I know they're good, but you will have to pull your tag back to make sure your RFID chip is behind that label. Check it. All right? The color is black, dark powder blue, gem red, style code CZ0775. 046. If someone talks about this, the Jordan.com being blurred on here, it is. So don't think that's something that you can check for it being a knockoff or being a fake. Our UPC code, we always want to get it. It's a size 11. Is 1966080198848. There's a 14 at the end. Let's get to the shoe, because that's going to be the most important part. And with so much paper, oh man, we've got to get all of the paper out of the way. And like I said, individually wrapped, so you guys know that. Drop that down and unroll this joint. Get my paper back in here. All right, I'm sitting this down. Now I'm sitting the shoe down because I want to look at my details on the shoe right now just to give you information. Now the Jordan 1 Low, the OG version of it, is one of my favorite shoes. I can't even front. It's like the ultimate in dad shoe comfort as far as I'm concerned. Now, I do want to do this. I'm pulling the shoestrings out because you do get a secondary set of laces. You get a set of red laces, and they come in that move to zero. No longer do you have the piece of plastic in the plastic bag. Good job on Nike for getting rid of that and moving to this move to zero little box. I appreciate that. I think it's a good detail. You do have the red hang tag with the Nike Air on it, but those style cues and those little points of details that I like to hit on, shoe insert comes out easily. It's not glued down, all right? It's not glued down, but you get that same old tape that's on the inside. We gotta get to the close-up, and I'll leave this out so you can see it, just to make sure you see it. It's blue. Once again, we got this kind of Spider-Man colorway, which it's just amazing that that kind of syncs up with Spider-Man, even though this is not a Spider-Man. So don't think I'm saying that. I'm just saying it matches. Anyway, let's get to the label before we forget what we're looking for. XB is the small code that's made in China. The UPC 1966080198848. We're good to go with 848848. Perfect. UPC date of production 11/30/22 to 02/20/23. Good to go. Let's get to that close up so you guys can see that, and I'm going to squeeze this. Now, interestingly enough, the OG low is not as structured. So if I squeeze the OG low, I get a buckle. Especially if I squeeze it from this side, I get a buckle. So once again, when authenticating, you can no longer use that as a check because this low, it buckles bad. And this came directly from Nike. It buckles bad. So do not use that as a gauge. The low top is not as thick. I'm just leaning down real quick. It's not as thick as even the dunk. It's not as thick. So don't use that as a cue. I'm saying a negative cue is it buckles. All right, it buckles. Let's get to that close up so you can see some more details here. All right, we got a lot going on with this shoe, man. So the first thing is, this is the new box for the shoelaces, and it says shoelaces, almost like Virgil was here. But it says shoelaces on that, just to make sure you see it, move to 0. So you should not have a lace bag on the UNC to Chi-Town version of the shoe. So it's a red lace that's in there. Here goes your hang tag. Make sure you get a good look at that hang tag, Nike Air. And then the heel, that's not embroidered. That's just a graphic, basically. And I'm making sure you look at all aspects of it. That's your bottom of the shoe. Make sure you see that. Top of it. I'm going to tap it so you can see what it wrinkles like, just to make sure yours looks the same. And you have the same leather. The same thing. These are $140. The same thing that the Air Force One, the color of the month, that white and green one that I did a video of, it's the same type of leather on this Jordan 1. And like I said, this joint will buckle on you. Will buckle. All right? And that's just not me knocking it. That's just to make sure when you're talking to someone and you're like, yo, that joint's fake or something like that. You don't want to get into that and say it's fake, because even this is an issue with the tape. And we know that's a Jordan brand thing, and we see it all the time with that tape. I hate it. I think it's a very cheap way to go. There goes your insole, which is really a thick insole. Really a thick insole. But that is the UNC to Chi Jordan 1. And there's the paper. There's no shoe insert. It's just paper, which is good on Nike because it's a lot of waste that goes into these shoes, and things that we really like and we will say that they're cheaping out on, they need to, because we don't have to have all of these different things in the shoe. And I really like this version. Even though it's a women's shoe, they should have made it they should drop one in men's. So it goes all the way up to size 13, and you don't have to get a 14.5 or a 15 women's, which is really hard to find, and it's going to make this one of those resale shoes because it's just going to be hard to find it for people who want it, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want this. I'll see you guys on the next one. That's it. On the tongue, and I want to put that there. On the Spider-Verse shoe, right, the Multiverse, the recent shoe that just dropped, the tag does not go over the top like this. It does not go over the top. And just making sure I wanted to hit on those style cues for you. Extra sheets of paper. The fact that I'm hitting the camera, and I feel bad about that, sorry. The fact that you do have that stamp on the inside of the box. We're good to go. I'll see you guys on the next one. That's it. Subscribe, like, share. Leave questions if you want me to kind of authenticate other aspects of the shoe that I may be missing out on, that you may be like, yo, I'd check this too. And, make sure you leave me comments and tell me about that stuff if you like. See you guys on the next one. That's it. Peace.